Japan brand is usually mainly independent publishers, but I will show you a game because this year Japan brand, part of the Japan brand is actually real card game publishers that are doing games like this. I will show you, this is called Endbreaker, Build and Break. It is a deck building, very straightforward deck building card game based on Endbreaker play by web role-playing game by Tommy Walker. This is designed as a deck building game based on that. And as a deck building game, you have cards like this that you can buy. So you have, well, I guess you can imagine. There are several selectables. The setup is always different. You can choose setups, you can do your random setup or whatever. What is special with this is basically everything you do is buy cards. You start with a hand of where you have 4 cards which give you beer, and beer is what you use. That's the currency for getting other adventurers. Whereas the adventurers themselves, they generate power, serenity, or I don't know what this T stands for. Anyway, that's the skill that they generate. And I get to play 5 cards each time it's my turn. So let's say I shuffle this, and I end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. SSP and a beer. Okay, which basically means I can play 5 cards, and I've got SP, so I can buy 2 of these if I want to. These are ability cards, and they also have an attack value once the monster attacks. I'm coming to that. I can also use the beer's special effect to turn these 2 temporarily into a beer in order to buy a little more powerful adventurer, which has 2 powers. He generates 2 powers. So this is what you keep doing. So what is the goal? Well, the goal is to try to divulge what the boss is. And you're placing out 2 cards like this, and you are using this middle part, half of each card. This forms a little chapter in the story, and in order to divulge this, you need to be able to play 3 S's and 1 P in one go. If you manage to do that, you get points, and the boss, one of the boss's abilities are revealed. And we go on, and this, you need P, P, S, and S. And the first person to be able to play this gets points. The game is about getting as many points as possible, of course. Now, once the boss is revealed, everybody shuffles their cards together again, and they shuffle, and they draw 5 cards. And the point now is to be able to play as much attack as possible, which says on these cards. Now, these guys have a very little attack. And the person who generates the most attack points out of his 5 cards gets the most points from the boss. The problem here is that once everybody has generated attack, you turn the card of the boss and you see how much he attacks for. And unless you have that many cards left in your deck, you die or you are defeated. And the number of points that you have gets halved. Okay. So what you need to do is that you can't just slim out your deck and have all the powerful cards, because you actually need to have quite an amount of cards, because if the boss makes an attack of 20, you need to have 20 cards and be able to discard that. Otherwise, your points are halved. But it's basically a battle for the points. Build your deck, buy ability cards, try to slim your deck, make an effective deck, solve these puzzles, get points. Once the boss attacks, it's all about just getting as much attack points as possible out of your deck. And if you don't have enough cards left when the boss attacks to parry his attack, your award of 8 points or 9 points or 10 points or whatever will be halved, so you'll only get 5. And you defeat 3 bosses, and the guy with the most points at that point wins. And so this is very straightforward, with the twist that you're basically just buying cards for different currencies, and you need to build up a deck that both can generate a lot of attack and withstand a defense, which is pretty interesting. This comes in 2. It has an expansion called Amatsu Kagura, and it's a standalone expansion. These both go, as they're printed in Japan, for pretty much, but they are still they're still pretty cool, and we have there are paste ups available on the Geek for all the cards in both games.
Okay, cool.